Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to thank all my old subscribers and welcome my new subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. So it's a cold, dreary day outside and we're expecting snow. So I want to make something quick and hearty for dinner tonight. This is also a great SHTF meal. It can be cooked over a campfire, in a sun oven, over a rocket stove, whatever you have. So here I am making, if you haven't guessed, a cornbread, and I'm going to pair that with my homemade chili. So in my preheating 400-degree oven, I have my 8-inch cast iron skillet, and that's what I will bake it in. So I've added in a cup of all-purpose flour, a cup of cornmeal. Now I'm adding in my third of a cup of sugar. Sometimes I put a little bit more depending on whether I want it sweet or not. Sometimes I add vanilla, again depending on whether I want it sweet or not. And then I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. I am adding in my 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm adding in 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and that's going to be it for my dry ingredients. Now for my wet ingredients, I have 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and 1.5 cups of whole milk. And I'm going to mix that in here all together. I am using my home canned condensed milk. It was milk and I condensed it. So I'm going to use that as my whole milk because I don't typically have whole milk in my preps or even in my fridge. We use almond milk typically, but today I'm going to use this, and I'm going to add in my egg, and that's one that I did defreeze. And it was frozen. Defreeze, is that a word? But anyway, defrost. And I'm going to add in my melted butter as well. And then I'm just going to put it in my dry ingredients, mix everything up, and Bob's your uncle. So now that I have everything mixed together, I'm going to add in my melted butter, and that's the last ingredient I'm adding in to this wet mix. Once this is incorporated, I'm going to add this to my preheated cast iron 8-inch frying pan, skillet, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put 5 tablespoons of butter into the pan and let it melt before I put my cornbread mixture in. So here is my preheated cast iron frying pan. It's an 8-inch one, and I'm just going to melt my butter right in here, and this is 5 tablespoons. And once this is nice and melted, I'm going to add my cornbread mix right into the pan with the butter and get it into a 400-degree oven for about 18 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. It might take a little less, a little longer. I know mine's typically runs hot, so I want to actually put this in for a little bit longer, depending on my oven. So that's it for the cornbread. It took no time whatsoever, and this is gonna go in to a 400-degree oven. So while this is cooking, we are going to make our chili. So let's go shopping for our chili ingredients. So we are here to shop for our ingredients for our chili. I am sorry about the lighting. The light is on, but this space is cool and dark, and that light doesn't really penetrate as much as I would like it to, but I can pretty much find what I need. So we're going to need some sort of meat. I'm probably going to go with the hamburger. I could do pork, but I think I'll just go with the hamburger. I do have chili beans already actually have the seasonings in them, so I'm going to go with that. It's going to make it a lot easier. everything I need to make my chili. I have my ground beef, my chili beans that already have all the seasonings and everything in them. I have another jar of red beans to go in it, and then another can or jar of diced tomatoes to go with it as well. So that's basically all I need. Everything else, all the spices and stuff, are up in my kitchen. So I'm starting my chili off with some broth. Now these are 2 broth cubes, discs, whatever you want to call them, that I froze instead of canning. It was only a little bit left, so it was enough to make about 4 or so cubes or disc, and I just froze them. It just made more sense. So I'm putting that in, and then I'm just going to add the rest of my ingredients. The beans, I'm going to save the meat to last because I'm going to take out half of it for the non-meat eating people in the family, and then the other half I'm going to add in the meat, so we can get 2 meals with 1 cooking, so to speak. So basically a vegan meal and a regular meal, and me not having to do so much extra work. And this is how I cook on a regular, because half of the family eats meat and half of the family does not. So I'm adding in all my spices, and I'm going to show you my secret ingredient. You know what my first secret ingredient is when adding any tomato products to a dish? It is sugar. But this is my secret ingredient. Shh, don't tell anybody. So I add a dash of cinnamon to my chili, and that's my secret ingredient. And here is the sugar. So I just add a bit of water to my mason jars just to wash down any of those good flavorings that might be stuck in the jar, because that's where they usually hang out. So now that everything is in, I'm just going to let this cook down a bit before I separate it out and add the meat to half of it. I'm just going to put it on a low simmer, and while the cornbread is cooking in the oven, this will be simmering on the top, and by the time everything is ready, it will be time to eat. So as you can see, this has reduced down quite a bit, and I'm going to separate it out before I add in my meat to half of it. So now that it is reduced down, I'm going to add the meat to half of it. I did add mushrooms to the whole batch, so that was the dark pieces you might have been seeing. And this is it reduced down, and now that I've added the meat, I have half for the meat eaters and half for the non-meat eaters in the family. And the cornbread will be out in just a moment. And here it is. This is the cornbread. This smells awesome. I know I keep saying that, but it does. And here is the final product. I shredded a little bit of cheese for the top, and the cornbread is on the side. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. Thank you very much, and have a great day.